we want to look at critical thinking characteristics and creative thinking characteristics. As you can see in the diagram on your screen, a critical thinking person is analytical. Well, analyzing means, analytic means you can analyze, you can discuss, and discussion is not very soft because you want to look at all sides of the coin. And a creative person is generative. In other words, you generate new ideas. And a critical thinking person is convergent. Convergent is like putting it in a certain way so that you establish to know what is there. But a creative person is divergent. It goes on and on. Vertical, lateral, probability, possibility. Okay, judgment, suspended judgment. Can I comment on suspended judgment? Suspended judgment is to mean a creative person is not quick to judge because you are exploring various ways of getting the answer to the problem. When you come to focused versus diffuse, a creative person diffuses things, and a critical person you are focused. You are focused. A critical person is objective, and a creative person is subjective. A critical person has answer, and the other one does not have an answer. Does not have answer. He has an answer because he's still exploring. A creative person is not that combative because he's trying to get the right point, the right answer. It goes on and on, where a critical person is yes, but a creative person is yes, and. Because you are creative, you are trying to add more and more information in order to establish the position. In an activity like problem solving, both kinds of thinking are important to us. First, we must analyze the problem. Then we must generate possible solutions. Next, we must choose and implement the best solution. And finally, we must evaluate the effectiveness of the solution. As you can see, this process reveals an alternation between the two kinds of thinking, critical and creative. In practice, both kinds of thinking operate together much of the time and are not really dependent of each other. So it is not possible to be just critical, my friend, and just stop there. You have to be critical and creative to survive. Dunia hii niulize maswali na uanze kutafuta majibu na kutafuta jawabu ya hayo mambo. Now let us just do a summary of what is creativity. You promise that you read more and more, and because there's a lot of materials for you. What is creativity? Creativity is an ability. That is, a simple definition is that creativity is the ability to imagine or invent something new. The other one is creativity is an attitude. The ability to accept change and newness, a willingness to play with ideas and possibilities, a flexibility of outlook, the habit of enjoying the good or looking for ways to improve it. Creativity is a process, it's not an event. It's a process. Creative people work very hard and continually improve ideas and solutions by making gradual alterations and refinements to their works. The other one is creative methods. Several methods have been identified for producing creative results. Here are the 5 classic ones, creative methods. One of these creative methods is evolution. This is a method of incremental improvement. New ideas stem from other ideas, new solutions from the previous ones. The new ones slightly improved over the old ones. Many of the sophisticated things we enjoy today, that we enjoy today, developed through a long period of constant incrementation. A long period of incrementation. Making something a little better here, a little better there, gradually makes it something a lot better, even entirely different from the original. So there is evolution, moving from this stage to the other, moving bit by bit. So that is methods that have been identified for producing creative results. The second one is the evolution method of creativity, also reminds us of that critical principle that every problem that has been solved can be solved again in a better way. So that is another one. Every problem that has been solved can be solved again in a better way. You see the principles of being a creative person, that what has been solved can even be solved again, or what is better, what is good can be made better. And you see, our people say, wathi wakura wongagirwo ungi, wathi wakura wongagirwo ungi. That is, a good idea yields to a better idea. Yes, so a good idea yields to another one, gives us a platform for improvement. So creative thinkers do not subscribe to the idea that once a problem has been solved, it can be forgotten, or to the notion that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A creative thinker's philosophy is that there is no such thing as an insignificant improvement. Number 3, the third point, revolution. The third point or method that has been identified for producing creative results is revolution. Sometimes the best new idea is a completely different one, and marked change from the previous one. In other words, evolution changes everything. Well, an evolutionary improvement philosophy might cause a professor to ask, how can I make my lectures better and better? A revolutionary idea might be, why not stop lecturing and have the students teach each other, working as teams or presenting reports? Or why should I allow people to be talking when the lecture is going on? I will stop it. That's revolutionary. I will stop the lecture because people are making a lot of noise there. That is revolutionary. But evolutionary, professor would ask, how can I make my lectures better and better? And start exploring ideas. For example, should I first talk to those who are talking when we are in the meeting? Should I first stop the lecture? No, yeah. Should I first talk to them or call them by phone? Evolutionary made, it is not radical, but evolution is radical way of solving it. Number 4 is reapplication. Reapplication. Look at something old in a new way. Reapplication. So it's rejuvenation. You can talk of rehabilitation. You can talk of reconstruction. That is a creative way. You are constructing from what is there. So you are reconstructing. Unafanya ukarabati jambo lililokuweko. Si ati waanza mapya. You are reapplying, you are reworking, redoing to make it better. That is creativity. So you go beyond labels and fixate, remove prejudices, expectations, and assumptions, and discover how something can be reapplied. One creative person might go to the junkyard and see art in an old model. That is transmission. Model T transmission. He paints it up and puts it in his living room. Another creative person might see in the same transmission the necessary gears for a multi-speed hot walker for his horse. He hooks it to some poles and a motor and puts it in his corral. The key to see beyond the previous or stated applications for some idea, solution, or thing, and to see what other application is possible. For example, a paper clip can be used as a tiny screwdriver if I filed down. Paint can be used as a kind of glue to prevent screws from loosening in machinery. Dishwashing detergents can be used to remove the DNA from bacteria in a laboratory. General purpose spray cleaners can be used to kill ants, and so on and so forth. The last creative method that is identified for producing creative results, we go back to it, is changing direction. Now, many creative breakthroughs occur when attention is shifted from one angle of a problem to another. And this is sometimes called creative insight. Let me read this classic example. Let me give it out. A classic example is that of the highway department trying to keep kids from skateboarding in a concrete-lined drainage ditch. Okay? Somebody is trying to stop children from getting into the ditch or drainage ditch. Now, the highway department puts up a fence to keep the kids out. The kids then goes around, and the department then put up a longer fence. The kids cut a hole in it. The department then puts up a stronger fence. It too was cut. Okay, the department then puts a threatening sign on the fence, and then they ignore it. Finally, someone decided to change direction and asked, what really is the problem here? It is not that the kids keep getting through the barrier, but that they want to skateboard in the ditch. So how can we keep them from skateboarding in the ditch, which is risky, they can die there? The solution was to remove their desire by pouring some concrete in the bottom of the ditch to remove the smooth curve. The sharp angle created by the concrete made skateboarding impossible, and the activity of the children stopped. So there was no more skateboarding problems, no more fence problems, because somebody changed direction. So if we change direction, whether you are doing politics, you see this is a side that made me lose another time. Change direction and move another one. If you go to read today, you start dozing in class or in your reading room in your house. Change direction, the way these guys did to stop children from falling into the ditch. That is creativity. But you see, how do we measure madness? To measure madness is to see you doing things the same way, in the way you failed the other time, and you expect different results yet you repeat the same way that you used the other time to fail. So if you are expecting to succeed and you failed the other time and you keep repeating it, you keep failing and failing because you are repeating that which fails you. That is what they call madness. To measure madness is to repeat the wrong thing in the same way and expecting better results. That is madness. Now, this example reveals a critical truth in problem solving, that the goal is to solve the problem, not to implement a particular solution. So the goal of all these things in particularly critical thinking, why we ask all these questions, is to solve problems. So studying critical and creative thinking generally makes you a problem solver. At the end of the day, you'll be a problem solver because you be able to address quite a number of things that you are not able to address before. When one solution path is not working, shift to another. There is no commitment to a particular path, only to a particular goal. Okay? So path fixation can sometimes be a problem for those who do not understand this. They become overcommitted to a path that does not work, and only frustration results. So if a path keeps failing and failing and failing, please start another one. Any question?